for the technical difficulties. But again, I'm rushing. I'm rushing when I get here. So please forgive me. But I do have one or two things that I saw that I wanted to discuss. One or two things that I saw that I wanted to discuss. All right. So it looks like it should be good again. YouTube should be there. Facebook should be there. Twitch and Twitter should all be there. All right. Robert Willis, you're back. All right. Sorry about booting you, Robert. I apologize. I apologize. And everybody else watching on YouTube. Sorry about booting you. Couple things. Let's start here locally. Here in Cincinnati, there was a young lady who. What are you watching? What you watching? Turn it down just a little bit, okay? Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you poking me? Young lady here in Cincinnati who was accused of abandoning her child. Young lady accused of abandoning her child. Um, let's see. Let's read this story. Oh my goodness. Stop. All right. An Indiana mother accused of abandoning her son. Okay, so but she abandoned them in him in Colerain. She left her 5-year-old son, who has autism, on a dark street on a rainy night in February, and just took off. 5-year-old kid with autism in the dark, in the rain, in February, on a busy street. They said they didn't necessarily say on Colerain. Some good Samaritans saw the boy and helped him until police arrived. She was arrested more than an hour south of Cincinnati in Georgetown, Kentucky. She pled guilty to child endangerment, which is a third-degree felony. She had her charges reduced from kidnapping, and the state dismissed the kidnapping count. She was sentenced to 6 months at River City Correctional to undergo mental health and substance abuse treatment. 6 months to undergo mental health and substance abuse treatment. And then after that, she'll be on probation for 3 years. And she's not allowed to be around her child. 6 months. Like, is that enough? You abandon a 5-year-old autistic child at night in the rain in February. I'm stressing February because y'all know how cold it is in February. It's freezing in February. It's freezing. It's raining and it's freezing and it's dark. And you just leave a 5-year-old child with autism. And the punishment? 6 months. 6 months. No, that ain't right. That ain't right. And people wonder why the woman looked like a white woman to me. And people wonder why we wonder about the justice system. Do I have any hard facts to say if that was a sister? In particular, a dark-skinned sister. Y'all, that matters. That matters in the justice system. Maybe not as much as some other stuff, but that matters. Could you imagine that being a dark-skinned sister left an autistic 5-year-old child on Redden Road in the middle of February in the rain and just left them? Like, boom, I'm going to drop you off and I'm going south. 6 months? Come on. Come on. That's just it's not enough. It's not enough. And then, well, no, she's dealing with some mental issues and some substance abuse issues. And I heard her in an interview saying she takes responsibility for what she did. But there were some other factors. But she takes responsibility. I bring this stuff up because, I like to show some people who just don't believe there will be another incident of somebody leaving their child, I don't know, to go to the club. But they'll leave the child in the house and tell the child to lock the door. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying that's a good thing to do. It's not cool. It's not cool. But they will want to throw the book at them. It'll be a sister. It's gonna happen. Some woman gonna leave her, some sister gonna leave her kid somewhere to do something. Oh, she gotta go to work. And she didn't have nobody to watch the child. Something's gonna happen. And it's gonna be people. There's gonna be people talking about, oh, that's just horrible. These people don't care about their kids. What's wrong with black people nowadays? Black people are the only people who lead. You know what I'm saying? We always, I love it when some of us like to say that black people are the only people who. As a general rule, anytime you say black people are the only people who, you're wrong. You're wrong. It don't even matter what the only people who, what you saying. We the black people, we the only people who, wrong. We the only people who make songs that dog our women out, wrong. Pamela says, one of the saddest parts of her abandoning him, his birthday was the next day. That's horrible. That's horrible. But she only got 6 months, so, I guess it's okay. It's okay to abandon your autistic child in the winter, in the rain, at night, and just leave them. That's all right. I mean, we don't like it, but we'll evaluate you for 6 months. Just irritating. Hold on. I saw another story that was bad, but not quite as bad. I didn't see that story. I'm sorry. I'm glancing through and I'm seeing things. I saw a story about Cardi B. Now, y'all know I don't really follow these people. I don't know a lot about Cardi B. I know she's a rapper. She's very popular. She got some kids, I think, with another rapper. And she's very popular. That's really all I know about her. Well, I mean, like what? Didn't she used to be in a gang, or she's somehow gang affiliated or something like that? And she was a stripper, right? Or was that another one? Maybe that's all of them. I don't know. Bottom line, she had an opportunity. She said she had a hold on, Angela. I have not discussed that yet because I saw somebody say that, but I didn't get a chance to pick up the story. But give me a minute. She said she had an opportunity because I want to do an uplifting story about Cardi B. I would typically, when you start off with she was in a gang and a stripper, it don't sound like an uplifting story. But roll with me for a minute, okay? Give me a minute. Apparently she had a multi-million-dollar deal lined up to do something with what was it, Grand Theft Auto or something like that? She had a multi-million-dollar deal, she said, on the table, done, ready to go. And she lost that deal. She lost the deal. She lost the deal because the day that she was supposed to go in, I guess, and do a photo shoot or some technical something with the thing, she had court. She had court. And again, this is a it don't sound like it, but this is a good deal. Call of Duty, not Grand Theft Auto. Call of Duty. Cardi B says she lost a multi-million-dollar deal with Call of Duty. Um, she had a chance to lock in a multi-million-dollar deal with Call of Duty, but she was unable to move forward. Um, and here comes the positive part. She ain't blaming nobody but herself. She ain't blaming nobody but herself. She said, "My stupid decisions from the past caused me to miss out on money now. I had a multi-million-dollar Call of Duty deal on the table that I couldn't take because of court." And she said, "Guys, think twice about those quick decisions." Lesson learned. Lesson learned. That's positive. Eh, She's learning. She's growing. Now, somebody said, one of her followers said, "Nah, I need Call of Duty to renegotiate the deal." Imagine Cardi as a character, that would be so hot. Cardi says, "I couldn't make it because of court a couple of weeks ago, and I wasn't able to do the shoot on time." She said, "It's on me. It ain't on Call of Duty. It's on me making stupid decisions. And hey, learn from me. Learn from me. Don't, do whatever you have to do, be popping off and whatever, just willy-nilly. Think before you act." That was basically what she said to the people. Think before you act. Your bad decisions now could cost you later. I think that's a positive thing. I think that's a positive thing. And I support that. I think that's a positive thing, and I support that. So has she done something negative? Well, I mean, I guess technically she did. She had to end up in court, and they had some sort of deal or whatever. But I would have talked bad about her. So for her to say, "I did some bad stuff, I cost myself millions of dollars," and to even put it out there to her people, her followers, don't do that. Think. Man, that's positive. That's positive every day of the week. Angela says, "Has anyone discussed the shooting at the high school scrimmage in Philadelphia yesterday?" I hadn't discussed it. I saw somebody else brought that up, but I hadn't seen the story. So let's look it up. Let's look it up. And I will react as I read the story. Philadelphia, one teen is dead and four others injured after police say a shooting erupted following a football scrimmage at Roxborough High School on Tuesday afternoon. Wow. Officers from the Philadelphia Police Department were called to the 300 block of Fairway Terrace just before 5 p.m. for reports of a shooting. Police found four teens, including two 14-year-olds, suffering from gunshot wounds and rushed them to local hospitals. Another 14-year-old student was treated at the scene for a graze wound. One of the 14-year-olds who was struck in the chest was brought to Albert Einstein Medical Center where he died. Wow. A 17-year-old suffered gunshot wounds to the arm and leg, while a 14 and a 15-year-old both shot in the leg. All three are said to be in stable condition. Law enforcement sources say that at least 5 shooters were involved. Wow. And more than 60 spent shell casings from 3 different guns were recovered from the scene. Wow. Law enforcement sources believe there were 5 shooters that jumped out of a vehicle. Authorities are searching for the car and alleged suspects were seen, that the suspects were seen getting into. They've not released information on the make or model. The group of students who police believe are all players were walking down the street when police say they were ambushed by at least 2 gunmen. Wow. The DA says, I'm absolutely outraged. I'm shocked. Quite frankly, I'm a little shaken. Schools are supposed to be the answer. They're supposed to be the answer. We keep kids in schools so they don't get involved in shootings. Wow. Apparently, so far, Philadelphia has matched 400 homicides so far this year. Wow. Philadelphia officials are holding a press conference on Wednesday afternoon to provide an update on the shooting. That's horrible. That's horrible. Now, of course, I don't know what happened. Not that I'm saying that there's anything that could have happened that would make it okay to open fire, jump out of cars and open fire on a group of teens. Nothing makes that okay. Nothing makes that okay. But, I need some details. I need to know what happened. It's horrible and it is tragic. I hope it doesn't sound like, based on just that. That's all I know. What I just read to you is all I know. But even that doesn't make it sound like it was football related. That makes it sound like it was something else. That's how I feel hearing what I just read. I feel like it wasn't football related. It was something else. And again, that doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it okay. If you want to call and talk about it, if you have more information, 513-717-5464. 513-717-5464. Daryl says, what up? Did you take my advice of renewing your tags at a BMV kiosk? No. I just went, I waited till they called my name, and then I went up there and I did it. Where I went, there was no kiosk. Let's see. Angela Kenny. Angela says, I may go Facebook Live, turn on your notifications. Okay. All right. Purple Pro says Norwood BMV is quick. Yeah, that was where I went. It was relatively quick. I wasn't in line all day. So yeah, it was. I don't know that a whole lot of people know that office is there. That might be why it's as quick as it is. Somebody else asked me a question. And y'all know I like to answer the questions. Walter says, are you okay with Rihanna doing the halftime show after supporting and protesting for Colin Kaepernick? Look, I'm okay with people doing whatever it is that they do. She showed, of course I'm torn on it. I don't think that the football players themselves should be playing. I really believe that it's a big enough issue that black football players should be saying to the NFL, look, get that man a fair shot or we ain't gonna play. And I'm not even saying he got to be a starter somewhere. Just give him a legit fair shot or we not gonna play, because we realize what y'all did and what y'all are continuing to do. Now, if you give him a fair shot and, he get beat out, then that's one thing. But you're not gonna, because this man took a knee and y'all reaction was embarrassing, so y'all were embarrassed by it, and then y'all blackballed him to send a message to us as players, in particular as black players, not to be using our platform for the betterment of black people. That y'all holding him up as an example of what will happen to us if we decide to do the same thing a little further down the line. So I think all the players should be saying, no, I'm not playing until he gets a fair shot. Then he get a fair shot. They go back to playing. Eventually, oh, he wasn't good enough. Okay, he just wasn't good enough. That's what I think should happen. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I appreciated all of the people who stood with him, but I also understand people look at the reality of a situation. There's a really good chance, better than good, he's never going to play again in the NFL. And doing the Super Bowl halftime show is an amazing opportunity for an artist. It's an amazing opportunity for an artist. So I understand, when things was hot, appreciated a Rihanna saying, no, I'm not doing no, thank you. I'll pass. Things ain't hot like that no more. And, Rihanna got to do what Rihanna got to do. I'm not against what Rihanna's doing. I'm not against what Rihanna's doing. So I got no beef with her. I got no beef with Rihanna. Riri is notorious for stirring the pot. She might get up there and throw it right in their face. She might. She might not. Either way, she took a stand. She took a stand when a lot of other people didn't or wouldn't. She took a stand when a lot of other people didn't or wouldn't. So that I appreciate. Talking to the screen. That I appreciate. And again, things change. Things change. So I understand the people who are like, hold on, Rihanna, you said you were standing with Cap. I understand those people too. But if I decided this week, you know what, I really want to see the Bengals in all white, in the whiteout with all the white people and everything, I'm watching the game. I got a right to do that. I got a right to do that. I got a right to change my mind and do what I want to do. I got a right to do that. So, I'm not here to knock her. I'm not here to knock her. Not here. Not doing it. Angela says, I think the powers that be enjoy making other black folks look wishy-washy. And I don't want to pass that judgment on her. Kind of for that reason, Angela. How is it beneficial? How is it beneficial? So now black people can't change their mind. So we got to say this and then be chained to it for the rest of our lives. But again, I would appreciate it if none of those people did. If none of those people played the Super Bowl. I would appreciate that, but I'm not here to tell those people what to do. I'm not here to tell those people what to do. Jay-Z took a stand until Roger Goodell gave him that check with all those zeros. And that happens. Look, I understand y'all know I hate making things about me. I would rather make everything about Lincoln. I hate making things about me. But, and this is not the same, but there was a lot of pressure to get that shot. There was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of, oh, what you gonna do? Oh, you said you was gonna do this, but you ain't really gonna do that. You ain't really about that. And you just, there was a lot of talk going on. There was a lot of people in my ear saying, do this, do this, do this. No, don't do that, do that. Well, you said you was gonna do this, so if you do that, then you're a hypocrite. All of that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of pressure, and you gotta block that stuff out and just do what's best for you. But yeah, when you thinking about, hold on, I'm about to give up all of this money for what? I'm about to give up all this money for what? And now I'm not talking about me because it wasn't all this money in my situation. You looking at a Jay-Z. Like, okay, maybe he do it. Maybe he really supported and maybe even still really supports, I don't know, Colin Kaepernick. But given the opportunity to make a whole lot of money and, be able to bring in other people and help them make money and, substantial money. You say, is it, let me see, because a lot of people say this to me. Colin Kaepernick, he got a nice check. He ain't hurting for money. And he watching the games. You suffering for what? And maybe, for somebody, that's a legit train of thought. He got money. He watching the games. Why can't we get some money? Why can't we watch the games? Why can't we, expand our sphere of influence and use this as a platform to help other people, as some of the young people still say, get the bag? I understand that. And again, I'm not here to pass judgment on nobody. I'm not here to say you right, and I'm not here to say you wrong. I'm here to say, well, I'm kind of here to say you're wrong, but I'm not here to say, to condemn you for doing what I think is wrong. I'm not here to condemn you for doing what I think is wrong. And I don't think none of them people like it. There should have been zero NFL. It would have lasted for a few weeks. If all the black players said, look, if y'all gonna do that to Cap, we not playing. So, but I don't like Colin Kaepernick. It's not about Colin Kaepernick. It's about them sending a message to us as black players. That'd last for what, maybe 2 weeks. He'd have been trying out for some team and had an opportunity to, get signed as a backup or something in maybe 2 weeks. But it's hard to get people to come together. That's difficult to do. Ben said, sound like you setting up a soft landing to come back. I'm sorry that it sounds that way to you. And if that's what you want to believe it is, then I'm cool with that. But no. I mean, I'm probably out forever. But if I decided to go back, okay, and you actually kind of sound to me like some of the people who were talking to me when I wouldn't get the shot. Because I legit considered it. And then after all my consideration was done, I said, nope. And while I was considering it, there were people like you saying, oh, see, you a hypocrite. You're going to, and I had to block them out. No, I was thinking about doing what was best for me. Rihanna, see the money Dr. Dre and them got last season's Super Bowl performance. Hey, but that's significant. That's what they like. That's how they make their money. They not really making a whole lot of money selling records no more. They make money in all that ancillary stuff. And doing shows is one of the ways. Um, Rihanna, a whole billionaire. And you know what rich people want probably more than anything else? Because they can buy almost anything. You know what they want more than anything else? More money, more power. So you don't stop wanting to make a whole lot of money once you get a whole lot of money. That makes you want to make more money. I don't understand why people don't understand that. I don't see why people don't understand that. Rich people want to be richer. If you got $1 billion, you want 2 billion. If you got 2, you want 5. You got 5, you want 10. You got 10, you want 100. You get 100, you want 200. Somebody's shooting to be the first trillionaire. That's somebody's goal. I'm gonna be the first trillionaire. It's never gonna be enough, because then if they get 1 trillion, now they want 2 trillion. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Forever. Yes, I think I'm out for good. It hurt. It hurt. There really is a part of me that's like trying to work out some sort of deal with myself, because that's who I'm negotiating with. I'm negotiating with me. And there is, that kind of classic angel on one shoulder, devil on the other shoulder. And the devil like, man, just go on and watch the NFL. You like it? You don't know Colin Kaepernick? F Colin Kaepernick. F the message that they sending to the black players. Just enjoy the game. And then the angel is like, no, man, you gotta, at least in your own way, take a stand. You gotta, even if nobody else see it and don't feel the effects, you gotta take a stand for what you believe to be right. And the devil like, no, watch it. Just watch it. All right, look. What if Colin get to the age of like retirement? Like, what, the Tom Brady, like 40 something. So what about when Colin Kaepernick turned 40? You know he wouldn't be in the NFL then anyway, so it really don't matter. And then the other part is like, yeah, but that just means they was successful in freezing him out. And I can't reward them because they successfully froze him out. This whole thing, there's negotiations going on. There's negotiations going on. I don't know. Jason said, you still not watching the NFL? No, I'm still not watching. Still not watching. Folks still mad at non-vax for living. Jason says, just entertainment. All right. Hold on. Ben says, but man, that cause probably made more progress than what you can see without Cap coming back. But don't you understand? It's not, for me, maybe you don't understand, because it just has to be logical to me. That's it. I'm not asking nobody else to do what I'm doing. It only has to be logical to me. And to me, the NFL said, Dinger, you are not going to stand up for black people on our time. You think you can? Hold on, we'll show you. And anybody else, look, everybody, pay attention. Pay attention. Everybody else who think about standing up for black people on our time, this is what's going to happen to you. Hey, you not looking. I need to see your eyes. All eyes up here. Any one of y'all dingers think y'all going to stand up for black people on our time, this is what's going to happen to you. So try it if you want to. Now watch what happened to him. And I can't reward that. So it's not about all the movement, this, to that. It's about look what you did, the message that you sent. Well, we paid him off, but y'all know that ain't really what he wanted. He wanted to play, just like they want to play. Y'all sent a message. And I feel like what I'm doing in my own little way, I'm that one little voice sending a message back. That's not acceptable. And I won't support it. That's it. And it only has to make sense to me. It only has to make sense to me. If it don't make sense to you, don't do it. Even if it makes sense to you and you like, it ain't that important, don't do it. It only got to make sense to me. Let's see. Jason says he froze himself out, kinda. And you got a right to feel that way. You got a right to feel that way. I'm not here to argue with nobody. I'm not arguing. Jason says it would happen at any of our jobs. No. No. We can't do that stuff at work. What can you not do at work? What can you not do at work? Because all he did, think about this, Jason, which I'm not really trying to convince you, but all he did was not stand up for the national anthem. That's it. Guess what? You cannot stand up for the national anthem at your job today. You can. If somebody come in there and start doing the Pledge of Allegiance, you cannot join them. So what is it that he did that you can't do at your job? And that's just me being curious. In your mind, what did Colin Kaepernick do at his job that you cannot do at yours? If you did a protest at work, you'd be fired quickly. Oh, that's not true. I protested a whole lot of things at work that I was not fired for. I protested a whole lot of stuff. It's not true. It's not true. Janice says, for those who have lots of money, it's not just about accruing more. It's also about maintaining, not losing the wealth they already have. All right. My job doesn't do national anthem. So at your job, Jason, you do everything that they say do the exact way that they say do it. Just curious. Did you protest nationally on TV? If my job had been on TV, I would have. I protested locally on the radio. There are a number of things, because again, what he did was not do something. He sat out. Like nobody even noticed it. Nobody even noticed it. Nobody noticed it. Well, somebody noticed it because they brought it up, but nobody really noticed it. He sat down during the national anthem. That was it. You acting like he went out on the 50-yard line and put his fist up. Oh, you can't see the fist. He didn't do that. It was, oh, say, can you see? And he was just sitting there. That's it. This is what he did. That's it. So you saying it like, you know what I'm saying? He went out there with a Black Lives Matter sign and was waving it, but he didn't. Did we know you were protesting at the time, or was it like you decided one day? No, that's just it. Y'all didn't know. The people knew. The people who I wanted to know, they knew. Management knew. We told him to say so and so, and he didn't say that. No, I didn't say that because I don't believe that. And I'm not going to say something that I don't believe. So y'all could run a commercial to say that, but I'm not saying it. And that was what they did. That was what they did. So mine was even a little more active. A little more active than Kaepernick. And look, Jason, I'm not trying to convince you. You've made up your mind that, he went out and made a big spectacle by not making a spectacle. And that somehow nobody else on their job is allowed to. I was in a meeting where, actually this happened twice. I was in a meeting where once it was Lincoln Ware, and I believe once it was Cathy Hughes. Once it was Lincoln Ware, and once it was Cathy Hughes. And I don't think it was the general manager, but it was somebody there telling everybody in the conference room to give them a standing ovation. And everybody did, but me. And I just sat there. Now, y'all know Lincoln was heated. Lincoln was heated. I don't think Lincoln noticed everybody else in the room standing up. He only noticed the one dude that wasn't standing up. That was it. I doubt that Cathy Hughes noticed. What am I standing up for? I'm not standing up. I would only stand up and clap. No, why? Why am I doing that? So I didn't do it. So I should have been fired and blackballed from radio because I didn't stand up. That's what Colin Kaepernick did. He didn't stand up. Randall Wyatt says, come on, E, when you gonna hold Cap accountable for not being good enough to return to the NFL? Maybe he's not. I'm not saying he is. All I'm saying is he should have been given a shot. He should have been given a shot. And then, and I believe that the NFL players should have been the ones to say, it would have lasted maybe 2 weeks. Like, look, y'all done blackballed that dude. Ain't none of us playing until he get a legit shot. If he ain't good enough, don't give him the job. If he is good enough, give him the job. But he deserves a good, clean shot. It would have been done in 2 weeks. Wyatt says he was given multiple tryouts. He was difficult to deal with. Now, he peeped a game. And they didn't like being, he knew what was going to happen. He knew what was going to happen. Like where they were like, oh, we going to give you a tryout. And he was like, hold on, but I want no media. No, we can't. Wait a minute. Because now y'all can say I was terrible. And there will be, they didn't want his people to come in and film it. Y'all can say I was terrible and I won't be able to dispute that at all. No. Because I already know what y'all doing. I already see the game that y'all playing. He wasn't stupid. He didn't fall for the trick. That was it. The embarrassment it caused for the NFL didn't help Cap. That was their fault, though. They created that embarrassment. I wasn't being petty. I don't really do standing ovations. I really halfway don't understand How does that mean what you did is good? What? Oh, what you did was good. That don't mean nothing. That just, you striking your hands together. I do that when I'm trying to get a bug. You know what I'm saying? I just, all of this, and I get it. It's what we do to show appreciation, blah, 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 blah. I understand it. Okay, so if I stand up, then you did a really good job. I ain't doing all that. Not a big proponent of the standing ovation. Not against it. If I feel like it, I'll do it. If I don't, I won't. I didn't feel like it with Lincoln or with Katie. I didn't feel like it. He did give me some super dirty looks. In the meeting, he gave me super dirty looks. And then after the meeting, he went and told everybody as if they didn't see it. He didn't stand up when they said to stand up. Why do you care? It was like 50 people in that meeting. 49 of them stood up. Why you focused on the one that didn't? That was not me being petty. I just didn't want to stand up. Same with Katie. I didn't stand up. Now in my mind, Katie was walking around telling everybody in the building, who's that guy who didn't stand up for me? Let's pray for him. Oh. Let's see. You did protest against the vaccine on radio. I can respect that, honestly, because Lincoln promoting vaccine milkshakes. He just not that good anymore. And he may not be. I've accepted that I'll probably never watch the NFL again. I've accepted it. You make a dude sit out. What? He gonna be 70 years old, and then they're gonna be like, now let's give him a real tryout. Bring all the cameras. Let everybody see. But yeah, now you want to do it because he's 70 years old. Walter says he didn't stand up for white supremacy. That's what it's all about. You can put your hands on a female and play again. David says Colin he did not get fired. He opted out of his contract / quit. It's not the same as quit. If you have an option to opt out of your contract, you can do that and be a free agent. And then he didn't get a fair shake. Jason says, I bet if he could go back in time, he wouldn't kneel. He was actually told by somebody, because he wasn't kneeling at the beginning. A veteran reportedly told him that that would be the respectful way to do what he was doing. Don't just sit there. Take a knee. That was what a veteran, according to reports, what a veteran told him would be the respectful way to do it. So he was trying to be respectful. And the NFL wanted Kaepernick to sign an unusual NDA that wouldn't allow him to sue. And any lawyer that would have allowed their client to sign would be derelict. Jason says he missed that money. Trust me. I'm not sure what you're trying to prove. Look, Jason, okay, I get it. You don't agree with me. You believe what he did, not standing up during the national anthem, is a heinous act, okay? I get it. You seem to believe it's like the worst thing any human could ever do is to not stand up during the national anthem on the sidelines of an NFL game. And somehow it's the worst thing the person could do. All right. And you believe he's not any good anyway. And people should just get over it because you couldn't have your own mind at your job and get away with it. Okay, that's cool. And you're probably still watching the NFL and enjoying it. Enjoy it. I don't so it cause it's like, oh, I feel good that he missing that money, that he should have just stood up and put his hand over his heart and sang along. And I'm not sure what you're trying to prove. You feel how you feel. Okay. Janice says it's merely an acknowledgement. That's the way you see it. It's not the way I saw it. What is me standing up acknowledging? Me standing up was acknowledging what? I didn't stand up. So does that mean whatever it was I was supposed to be acknowledging didn't exist? Still existed. I still acknowledge it. I just didn't stand up. I got a right to not stand up. People always try to pressure people to do stuff that they want them to do. If I want to stand up and give a standing ovation, I don't need you to order me to stand up and give a standing ovation. The NFL ended up giving black-owned business more equity in the NFL than ever before. Several black-owned companies benefited from their collaboration. Okay, and I'm not sure what your point is. Angela says, I'm of the thought that I can present kudos without being told. Yes. Yes. Um, Jason says at 70, seriously? Yeah, I could see that. I could see at 70. Yeah. Jericho says there seems to have been many female guests who didn't care for you. Why? I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you could clarify that, I'll gladly answer. Joe says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Joe. Good afternoon. Um, Jason says, I enjoy you being stressed. I'm not stressed. I'm not. Trust me. I did not say that. I said hyenas. Go read the word. That's how it's spelled. Jenna says, yes, it existed. You just didn't acknowledge it. I did acknowledge it, just not in the way that they wanted me to. Just not in the way they wanted me to. Brent says, other than Kaepernick and coronavirus, what are the topics on the table? Well, I got a few other things that I did want to discuss, but we brought up the lady who abandoned her child and left them. Who is that? I don't know who that is, little baby. You just go ahead and keep watching. Who abandoned her 5-year-old and only got 6 months. 5-year-old with autism in the dark, in the rain, in February, freezing, and just abandoned them. Got 6 months in jail. Talked about Cardi B being responsible, taking ownership of her own actions. Ownership of her own actions. Saying, hey, I missed out on a multi-million-dollar deal with Call of Duty because I did some dumb stuff and I had to go answer for it on the day that I had to be there to do something to get the deal done. And she said, look, y'all, think before you act because your actions can affect you in the future. So, yeah, we talked about that. And I think pretty much that's it. I don't even really know. Oh, we talked about the shooting in Philadelphia. The shooting, uh, one dead. I think it was four injured after a football scrimmage. Talked about that. Look, don't be mad at me because the thing that the people keep wanting to discuss on the chat is Colin Kaepernick. I've brought up a few things and I got a couple more that I want to bring up. But if y'all won't hear asking me questions about Colin Kaepernick, I'm gonna answer the questions about if you ask me the questions about the shooting or about Cardi B or about the white lady who got 6 months. I'll talk about that too. Or me doing a standing ovation if I want to. Janice says you did not acknowledge it. I did. I said congratulations. Just because I didn't stand up when I was ordered to stand up. You know what? I remember when I was down at, at when George Floyd had been killed, and I was.
Someone called you.
Somebody did call me. Hold on, let me see. It says I got a voicemail. I'll check it later. You go ahead and watch what you're doing. And I was down there, and they were protesting in front of, in particular, this was in front of the courthouse. And it was a lot of black people down there, and it was some white people down there. But it seemed like the white people was in charge. And the white people were telling people, stand up. And the people, because when I showed up, everybody was like sitting down or kneeling. I don't remember which. And the white people who was in charge was like, stand up. And then everybody stood up. Everybody stood up. And then the white people who was in charge was like, put your fist up, or whatever it was they had them do. And then everybody, and I'm watching all of these black people take these orders from these white people. And they're telling them how to protest. They're telling them what to do and when to do it. And I remember thinking, I would never follow those orders. I would never follow those orders. I don't need people telling me how to be mad. I don't need people instructing me how to show my displeasure to the government. I don't need that. And I mean, they were like step-by-step instructions. Now turn your back. Now that, and I was like, I'm sorry. And maybe it's, I don't know what it is. I'm just not one of those people for the most part. Like I said, unless I feel like it. Maybe the people down there really felt like it. Like, I don't want to think. I'll just follow orders. But unless I feel like it, I'm not doing what you ordered me to do. I'm not doing it. I can show my displeasure to the government in my way. Or I can acknowledge your good job in my way. Or I can, whatever. I can do it the way I want to do it. So I don't know. I don't buy into all of that follow the leader stuff. I don't buy into follow the leader. Like I said, unless I feel like it. Unless I feel like it. If I'm having a good time with it, sure, let's have some fun. But I'm not one of them people who just follow, do what I'm told. And I know that's how you get along in a lot of workplaces, in a lot of situations. You do shut up, stop thinking. We don't need you to think. We need you to do what we told your black ass to do. I don't need you thinking. Did I tell you to think? Then stop thinking. I said, put up your fist. Did I tell you to think? I said, stand up and clap. Did I tell you to think? I said, take this shot. And again, I acknowledge that's how you get along and you can come up that way. It's something to be a good end. There is something to it. There is something to being a good end. White people like you. A lot of times you in a job with white people calling all the shots. You a good end. The white people like you. You know, they sit and they talk about you in the meetings. He a good end. Let's give him a raise. I never felt like being a good end. Never felt like being a good end. So, yeah, difficult if you want to call it that. But, okay. Oh, I got a call coming in. Hold on. Let's get this ready. Brent.
Good afternoon, Emmanuel. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Brent. I'm fantastic. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine, doing fine. Yeah, just wanted to jump in here real quick. You are absolutely correct about some white people when they see you doing something contrary to what they expect of you, they get pissed. And to me, it's the whole mentality of, I don't have a problem with integration, but it's the assimilation is what they want. They want you to act like they want you to act, think like they want you to think. That's why they love Herschel Walker so much. All they had to do is whisper Herschel Walker, tell them that black people want white people to apologize for CRT. And he goes and he parrots exactly what they have to say. So they don't have a problem with that type of a black person because that's what they do. So yes, I definitely know some people at work and at other jobs who are just like that. They were fine with you until you didn't do what they wanted you to do.
And
So,
go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Brent.
No, I was going to ask you at the church that you attend, do you have like a worship leader or I don't know, a praise team, whatever they call them now, someone that gets up there and is supposed to, their job is to exhort the congregation to, give praise. You have one of those type of worship leaders?
Yes.
Okay, so when he tells you, you know how good God's been to you, why are you going to sit down on God? Do you stand up?
Not if I don't feel like
it. Yeah, so they try to use it. That's just another form of using the bully pulpit or having that mic to try to, get you to do. So yeah, I hear you. I was in it was a revival, and the preacher was in there, and he was telling people to run, and they would start running and everything. And I'm looking at him like, who are you? Last I knew, your name was Pastor Brown, not Jesus. So. I ain't running nowhere.
Yeah, no,
So
and
I've
been in a situation where they were laying hands on people and everybody was falling out, and they laid the hand on me and I stood there because didn't nothing knock me down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not laying down.
That wasn't nothing but the devil.
Yeah, I'm not laying
you
down
got too much
for
of that
fun.
devilish spirit in you.
So yeah, I mean it happens, but no, I'm just look. If I feel like getting up and clapping, I get up and clap. If the music move me, then I move. If it don't,
right,
then I don't. And I'm not being defiant necessarily.
Right.
I'm being me. I'm being authentic to who I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I could imagine Lincoln being in there, and you didn't stand up, and I could just hear him say, how come he won't acknowledge me? He needs to acknowledge me. I could just see that.
He was heated. He was heated.
Oh, I bet he was. I bet that lip was quivering and everything. And lips poops, the whole 9 yards. But yeah, I got to transition to this other meeting, but just wanted to drop in for a few moments. But, hey, appreciate it, and I'll talk to you next time.
All right. Have a good one, Brent. Yeah, Lincoln was heated. I've told this story probably about 100 times, and I saw your question, Sierra. I'm gonna answer you in a minute. I've told this story. I was at an event. We were at Washington Park, and It was like a sea of people. And they called Lincoln Ware up. And Lincoln Ware got the biggest standing ovation in probably Washington Park history. It was a sea of people. And everybody, people was going crazy. And when the applause all died down, one drunk dude in the back, I promise you, it was one drunk dude in the back. After Lincoln got what felt like a 5-minute standing ovation, I'm sure it wasn't, but in my head, it felt like a 5-minute standing ovation. One dude in the back said, "Boo Lincoln Ware." That was all he said. And Lincoln got up and he said what he, "Yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody. And finished what he was going to say. And they said, "All right, Lincoln Ware," and everybody clapped. And Lincoln walked off the stage and made a beeline for that one dude. Like, he ignored the hundreds of other people who were there clapping and showing him all the love and appreciation they could muster because he couldn't get over the one dude who said, "Boo Lincoln Ware." That was all he said, and that's as close to I can get to the way he said it. He was a little inebriated, so it was slightly slurred. "Boo Lincoln Ware." That was it. When Lincoln walked down from that stage, I told Jerry Tolliver at the time, I said, he about to go find that dude. He about to go find that dude. Jerry was like, he ain't gonna be worried about him. Sure enough, he walked, he had his little George Jefferson with his hands behind his back, walking, and then found the dude. "Was you the one who said boo Lincoln Ware?" And the dude was like, "Yeah, boo Lincoln Ware." "What? You got beef with me? Huh? You got beef with me? Huh? You gonna say boo Lincoln Ware? What, you got beef with me?" And I'm like, why are you trying to fight this dude? He a drunk bum who said boo Lincoln Ware. And people have to hold you back? Like, what in the world is going on? So yeah, I kind of knew it would bother him. But I didn't feel like standing up. And if I don't feel like standing up, I don't stand up. What was it that Malcolm said in the movie? I can't remember what it was. Somebody, he don't dance if he don't hear no music. He don't scratch if he don't itch. And something else or another. That's me. That's me. He said, "Look at a soldier." He said, "You got beef with me? Huh? Huh? What, you got some beef with me?" And I was like, oh my God, why is he trying to fight? Why is he trying to fight? Everybody love you here. One dude said, "Boo Lincoln Ware." But anyway, question was asked. Y'all know I answer questions. And I did have another couple of stories. I'm gonna need that phone in a minute, little baby. Hold on, where was it? Sierra, why are you beefing with Tracy Ellis Ross? I don't know that I could beefing with Tracy Ellis Ross. I don't think about her. I'm certain she don't think about me. But yeah, she was just really rude. She was really rude when she was in the studio. And I didn't appreciate it. And so I let her know that I didn't appreciate it. That's it. And then she made some comments about me at an event the next day. That's it. that's like that's the short version of the story, but that's the whole story. She was really, really rude and nasty. And I don't like rude and nasty people if there's not a reason for you to be rude and nasty. Yo Underwood says, "Your crush hurt your feelings." Trust me, she was never a crush of mine. And I'm not saying this because she was rude and nasty. This was how I felt about her before. I don't see, in terms of from a physical standpoint, what the men who think that she's attractive sees. You know, some people like one thing, other people like something else. Everything that I like, she's the opposite of. And that's just what I like. Apparently, there's a whole lot of dudes that like her. But everything that I like, she's not it. So, no, definitely not a crush. Definitely not. I love telling the stories about the celebrities that I meet who are nice. Monica, one of the nicest people from a celebrity standpoint that I've ever met. Monica, one of the nicest people from a celebrity standpoint that I've ever met. Showed the utmost respect for everybody around her who was not a member of her team. And the only reason she kind of was disrespectful to the members of her team is because they were trying to get her to ignore some of her fans. And she had to let them know, like, no, these people came here to see me. I'm not leaving. And if y'all don't want me to see them, y'all need to cut off the line at the end of the line and not let nobody else get in line. But if they done been in this line for 30 minutes, I'm not just going to get up and walk away. No, they deserve to meet me. Y'all done had them waiting in line for 30 minutes. Go to the end of the line, cut off the line, tell people this is the end. And then when that last person get here, then I'll leave. I respected that. I wouldn't imagine Tracee Ellis Ross would ever do anything like that. Ever. Daryl says she's too high yellow for me and her eyes are too big. I'm just saying she's not my cup of tea. That's it. She's not my cup of tea. But hold on. I saw. Have there been any other female guests who didn't speak favorably of you? I don't know. I can't really think of any right now because I wasn't sitting around thinking about it. But just off the top of my head, I would imagine that one lady from what was the play? The play with Silly and the lesbian chick. Oh, I don't know why I can't think of the name of the play. Help me, y'all. The name of Celie is in it. Until You Do Right by Me. Celie. She's, what's the name? They made a movie, but Color Purple. Thank you. There was the Broadway play, The Color Purple, came, and one of the actresses in the play didn't like me very much. And we argued on the air about something. I don't remember what it was about, but it was just somebody had asked me a question. I shared my opinion, which is really kind of the same thing that happened with Tracee Ellis Ross. Someone asked me a question. I shared my opinion. She did not agree with my opinion. And so we debated it. She got really emotional about it. And she didn't care for me. The rest of the cast, women, the public relations person who actually became a good friend of mine because of that. Just because she was so entertained by the fact that, she became a good friend of mine, even to this day. So, that happens. That happens. There are some people who are not gonna like who you are or what you stand for. I understand that. Jerica says, I remember that. Hence the reason I said you've had issues with female guests. I've had issues with male guests too, I'm sure. But there were, if I remember, at least 3 people in the studio with her. So if I'm doing, I'm cool with 3 out of 4. Is it really my fault that the 1 out of 4 have a problem with my opinion? Because that's all it was my opinion. That's all it was. I can't help how people respond to my opinion. I can only help how I respond to their response. And my response to their response is typically, bring it. Bring it. We can talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. But Tracy Ellis Ross told her personal whatever, whoever the lady was, that, what do they call them when it's your personal assistant? I must guess that's who it was. Told her personal assistant, like, literally, I'm sitting, Tracy Ellis Ross is sitting right here. I am sitting right here. Her personal assistant is on that side of her. I was asked the question. I answered the question. Tracy Ellis Ross didn't like the answer, so she began to try to pepper me with questions. And I think she thought I was going to break down. Like, ooh, she famous, so I better just say what she want me to say. But I didn't. And of course, y'all know me. I had an answer for everything. Because again, it was just my opinion. And then she looked at her person and she said, tell him not to speak to me. What? And I don't remember what I said. She said, tell him not to speak to me. And then the person actually had the nerve to look around Tracy Ellis Ross and say, she doesn't want you to speak to her. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was hilarious to me. I think I might have laughed just like that. It was hilarious. And then I responded and whatever was whatever. Oh, she was heated. She doesn't want you to speak to her. Oh, that's unfortunate because she's on a talk show with me. Oh, anyway. But yeah, no, I don't really have issues with women. There are just some women who have issues. And, I deal with them from time to time. What? Hold on, let me sit up on a little, baby. Hold on, I'm gonna pause your thing. You can finish watching it. But I had, here. Ah, that's it. All right. Here, let me get you back where you were. Not there. There you go. All right. There was another story that I ran across. Hold on. Woman charged with murder. Lincoln Heights. Yes, that's the story I'm looking for. All right, here's another story. I ran across. I want y'all opinions on this, which, I don't even have to tell y'all that. I know y'all gonna share y'all opinion. This is Lincoln Heights, updated 5 hours ago. I'm reading it off of Fox 19's website. A woman was charged with murder after a Lincoln Heights homeowner shot and killed a man she chased and stabbed, according to court records. Ebony Stinson, her bond was set at $750,000 during her initial appearance Wednesday in Hamilton County Municipal Court. Stinson of Millville got into a domestic argument with 48-year-old Henry Jennings as he drove in their vehicle near Chamberlain Avenue on the night of September 19th. All right? So they're in the car together. He's driving. They're arguing. During the altercation, Ebony pulled out a box cutter and cut his neck. Okay? Not cut his throat. He didn't die from getting his neck cut. He crashed a vehicle, which is reasonable. I'm driving. Somebody reach over and cut me with a box cutter. What? Crashed the vehicle. He jumped out of the vehicle. He fled. At which time, Ebony tried to run him over. He ran. She didn't run him over. He ran. He ran up the steps at 900 Chamberlain Avenue. All right? Let's recap. He's driving. Him and Ebony is arguing. Ebony, in the course of the argument, pull out a box cutter and cut him. He crashed the vehicle. He jump out. Ebony jump over in the driver's seat, and Ebony try to run him over. He, dip, dodge, and get away. He runs to a house, and this is where things get more dicey. Henry, which is the man's name, pushed his way through the front door. So in essence, he break into somebody's house trying to get away from Ebony. He pushed his way through the front door. Somebody was home. The person at home, he ain't got no idea what's happening. So he's like, what the hell? Who are you? Whatever it was he said. Then he gets into an altercation with Henry. Henry and him get in an altercation. Well, this dude happened to have a gun, and he shoot Henry 3 times. Henry crawled out of the house and died on the front step. We all follow the story. They say the homeowner feared for his life and he shot the victim. The victim died. But now, Ebony has been charged with his murder. Should Ebony be charged with his murder? Ebony should be charged with something. Ebony should be charged with something. But she's charged with his murder. I agree with all y'all. That's horrible for Henry. That is horrible for Henry. But she is charged with his murder. Look, I don't know what was happening in the car. I don't know what they were arguing about. I don't know if she felt threatened. She cut him. Let's just make her, for the sake of this argument, let's accept all of that as fact. Okay? We don't know it to all be fact. This is all alleged. But for the sake of this argument, let's accept all of that to be fact. All right? They're arguing. She pulls out a box cutter. She cut him. He crashed the car. She tried to run him over. He run to the house. I understand she should be charged with domestic violence, maybe even felonious assault, maybe even attempted murder. She tried to run him down with a car. So maybe that. But murder? I don't know that she caused him to run into that house. She caused him to run. But she didn't create the situation necessarily that forced him. She didn't force him to run into that house. And she didn't force him to get into an altercation with the homeowner. She didn't force, of course, the homeowner to pick up a gun and shoot him. She should be charged with something, sure. But I don't know if she was the direct result, what she did was the direct result, or that murder was the direct result of what she did. Not to mention, we don't really even know what the argument was about. We don't know if he started it. I personally think that kind of matter. What did he say? What did he do? Jason says, if we both go to a store and I decide to rob the store owner and kill him, you being charged. That's not the same situation. It's not the same situation. If we get into an argument and I punch you in the face, so you decide to bust into a store and rob it, and that robber and that store owner shoots you, should I be charged with your murder? Because I punched you in the face when we was arguing. That's more along the lines of what happened. Had she not have been threatening his life, forcing him to flee and seek safety, he would still be alive. But there's a lot, at least in my mind. And again, for the sake of this argument, we're just accepting everything as face value, okay? Yes, he fled, but he didn't have to flee into somebody's house. And then even if he did, once he got in the house and it became an altercation, just leave. Leave. Don't fight with the person in the house. Leave. Stuff happened between I'm fleeing from you and I got shot. And ain't some of that, or is some of that on the victim? How is all of that on Ebony? I'm not saying Ebony's blameless. Again, Ebony should be charged with attempted murder. Again, accepting this story as which we don't know to be 100% factual. Ebony should be charged with attempted murder. She tried to mow a person down with a car. We just saw how that can end. So she should be charged with attempted murder. Felonious assault. You can cut somebody in the neck with a box cutter. That sounds like felonious assault to me. Easily. Domestic violence. No doubt about it. Reckless operation of a vehicle. I don't even know if that's a real charge, but charge her with it. Throw all them books at her. Throw all them books at her. But murder? Murder? If you running from me and then you break the law because you running from me, am I really responsible for you breaking the law? Jason says she still started the whole thing. Nothing in the story, and that's what we're just, for the sake of this argument, accepting as fact. Nothing in the story says she started the argument. They were arguing. So we don't know who started it. So are you saying, Jason, if the victim started the argument, then he's responsible? But if Ebony started the argument, then she's responsible? Because that's going to be an easy case, because he can't tell his side of the story. We don't know what happened in the car. So all Ebony got to do is get up and say, he started it. You know, the 4-year-old argument. He started it. All right, not guilty. I don't know that it matters who started it. And again, we don't know if he threatened her in some way. Maybe she said, let me out of this car. And he said, no, you're not getting out the car. So she felt like she needed to do whatever she needed to do to get out the car. We don't know. Jason says she tried to run him over. That's attempted murder. That's not murder. That's attempted murder. I'm down with you. Charge her for that. Everything that y'all bringing up that she did, she should be charged with. I'm just not a big fan of, I did something to you, so you did something that potentially caused your own death, and now I'm responsible for it. I don't know if I like that. I know, sometimes that's the way the law works. I know sometimes that's the way the law works. But you ran in somebody's house. She didn't make him run in nobody's house. You got into an altercation with the homeowner. She didn't make you get into an altercation with the homeowner. He could have ran behind the house to where she couldn't get to him with the car. If he could get up on the porch to get in the house, you on the porch now. I don't know that she can drive up the porch and get you up on the porch. Jason keep coming back to she started the whole situation. You don't know if she started the situation. You have no idea what the situation started with an argument. You have no idea who actually started the situation. That's not in the story. Anthony says, remember when they charged the guy for the cop that fell off the bridge and died? I do remember that. I didn't like that, number one. But even that's different from here. Even that's different than this. Because the person who died was in a different situation. So I'm not sure that you can equate those two. So here's what it sounds like. Here's what it sounds like y'all saying. And this to me is dangerous. But this is what it sounds like y'all saying. Hold on, let me deal with this first. She forced him to seek safety. Okay, but she didn't force him to seek safety by illegal means. Like I said, if me and Jason are out in the street fighting and I get him real good and he get up and start running and I chase him and then he break into a liquor store and try to rob it and then the store owner kills him, how am I responsible for that? Well, he was trying to get away from you. But in the process of trying to get away from me, he made some terrible decisions. He broke into a store and then engaged in illegal activity inside the store. How is that my responsibility? How is that my responsibility? Somebody help me understand that. Look, y'all, I could go with y'all. Not really, but I think y'all would have a better argument. I think y'all would have a better argument if he was running down the street and then he got hit by a car. And then you could say, well, he was running from her. He would not have been running from her, and that accident would not have happened. But he broke into a house. There's no two ways about it. He wasn't invited. It wasn't his property. He broke into a house. I get he did it for safety's sake. But still, that's not legal. That's not legal. You can't break in somebody's house. So, well, why'd you break into the house? She was chasing me. That don't make it okay. You still broke in the house. I don't know how I don't feel like, apparently like y'all feel. If he's trying to rob it, then okay. But was the guy trying to rob the homeowner? No, but apparently the homeowner wanted him out and an altercation happened. Maybe he wouldn't leave. See, to me, that's the second act, that would be the equivalent in my scenario of the robbery. Like, okay, you broke into the liquor store trying to get away from me. You might have cover for that. But then while you're in the liquor store, you commit a second illegal act. You can't be fighting people in their house. That's not legal. You break into the house and then you fight the homeowner. You can't do that. That's the second illegal act. Whether he was trying to rob him, let's say he was trying to tickle him, and the homeowner didn't want to be tickled. Whatever. You are in an altercation with somebody in their home that didn't invite you in. That's not her fault. See, that's the second illegal act, at least in my opinion. I don't know. It all sounds, and look, if you're his family, you're probably saying, look, he was just trying to be safe. He can't be held responsible for his actions in that moment. He wasn't trying to rob nobody. He wouldn't have did this. He wouldn't have did that. My relative, my loved one, wouldn't have been in that situation if it wasn't for her. I understand all of that. Jason says, Jason, you're disappointing me. Your lack of ability to reason logically is disappointing me. Jason says, so basically he was going to break in somebody's house that day. No one even suggested that. No one suggested that. Again, if me and you were fighting and you break into a liquor store to get away from me, you had no intention on breaking into that liquor store. So no one is suggesting that. But then once you break into the liquor store, if you commit a second illegal act, you broke into the liquor store, that's the first illegal act. That was to get away from me. But then once you get in there, you commit a second illegal act. How am I responsible for the second illegal act? If I'm his family, I'm calling in cussing you out. You said cursing. I don't think it's cursing. I think it's cussing. But anyway, um, okay. Y'all know it wouldn't be the first time. Y'all know it wouldn't be the first time. Somebody replying to something Wyatt said. I must have missed Wyatt's comment. Okay, there it is. So what you're saying is, if I'm running for my life away from you, I gotta be careful where I go. Well, yes, and you gotta be careful what you do once you get there. You gotta be careful what you do once you get there. Let's say I'm at home, I'm doing the show. Somebody break in right now, and I'm what the hell? Who the F are you? No, get out. Get out. And I'm trying to get you out of my house and you pushing me to not get out. You don't have a right to do that, bro. You in my house. You in my house. The person outside is not making you fight me. You're fighting me. You just lay on the ground. Put your hand like you getting arrested. Put your hands behind your back, spread out, whatever. Lay on the ground. Make me know I am not a threat. I'm running for my life, and you talk to me. But we fighting and tussling. Bro, no. No, don't do that. Uh, the homeowner was not charged. That is correct. Homeowner was not charged. Because somebody broke into his house and they got into an altercation and he picked up a gun and shot them. You don't do. Look. And apparently, somebody said, well, the grand jury saw it. That burns me up when y'all say stuff like that, as if that makes a difference. Grand juries can be as wrong as the day is long. Just because a grand jury said it, don't make it so. Just because a prosecutor said it doesn't make it so. That burns me up. Well, the prosecutor said. And or have we not accepted that the prosecutor is racist here? Have we not accepted that the justice system doesn't always come to the right conclusions here? So look, I can go with the people who are arguing she caused everything. Let me ask you this. What if you find out they were arguing in the car? This is purely hypothetical, but I'm asking for a reason. What if you find out they were arguing in the car? She said, "Let me out." He said, "No." She said, "Let me out." And she's trying to get out of the car and she can't get out. So she feels like basically this end is kidnapping me. And in order to get out, she pulled out the box cutter. What if you find that out? Then is it all his fault? So he started the argument and then he wouldn't let her out. Then is it all his fault? See, because I don't think all that stuff, that matters up to a point. That matters up to a point, in my opinion. Now, again, she should be charged with attempted murder. And that's if we're accepting, because I want to keep saying this, because I wasn't there, you wasn't there. So I'm not just accepting that this happened this way. This is just what's being reported. It's alleged, and we don't have the actual full story. We don't have the actual full story on either side, so we don't know. But accepting this article at face value, I'm not comfortable with what y'all saying. Hold on, somebody said I have the worst hypotheticals. I'm sorry, that was a great hypothetical because we don't know. And so the question was, because y'all, those of y'all who saying, well, she started it, so she should be charged with his murder. What if she didn't actually start it? That's very much a reasonable hypothetical. That's reasonable. If he started it and wouldn't let her out the car, and so she was responding to her, the perceived threat to her life, then wouldn't it be all his fault? That's a reasonable hypothetical. Reasonable. Yes, it is. When he ran off, the threat to her was over at that point. And when he got behind that closed door, the argument could be made that from her, the threat to him was over. So then whatever happened after that, how's that her fault? Once the threat is over. I don't know. I just wanted y'all opinion. Again, I don't know. I don't know who did what. I don't know who started it for y'all. She started it, people. I don't know who started it. It's a horrible, horrible tragedy. I feel bad for the homeowner. How am I confusing anybody? I read the story. That's all I did. Jason says I'm confusing everybody. I just read the story. And I said if we accept the story as true, which it's alleged, so I don't accept it as the truth. Why it says her actions caused the death of another. Pause. Did they? And I think that's the argument. Did her actions cause the death of another? Her actions caused the flight of another. But again, I would argue, and I would have to find some legal whatever, I'm not a lawyer, but I would argue once he got safe, all other actions were him and can't be attributed to her. So I would have to know exactly what happened in the house. To me, that's what it comes down to. What happened in the house? I know you got shot. But between you busting in and the gun firing, what happened? I'm going to read past the pause. I am. I'm just saying. That's what I would have to know. But I would argue maybe her actions didn't. Maybe. Unless she can show cause of self-defense, the charge will stand. Well, the charge is gonna stand. The charge stands. However, her pursuing the victim is where she gets fried. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Because again, that's why I say once you get to safety, what happens between I'm safe and a gun being fired? That matters. That matters. At least if I was a lawyer trying the case, that's what would matter. That's what would matter. Jason says he would never ran into the house if not for the stank. I'm not sure what that means exactly. But okay, and again, but he did. He ran to safety. Like, y'all acting like it's all black and white. But it's not. It's not. But I just asked y'all opinion, and y'all just sharing y'all opinion, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate the opinion. David said he was never safe in someone else's house. How do you know? So you tell me exactly what happened in the house, David. I'm waiting. I want to know exactly what happened. What was said, what movements were made, what happened in the house. Tell me, David. Because you can't. You can't. So we don't know what happened. Again, I keep going to this. Me and Jason is fighting, and I'm beating his ass. He runs and breaks into a liquor store for safety. Slam the door behind him. He's safe. Then once he get in there, he decide, well, since I'm in here, I can rob the store. Store owner shoot him. That's my fault. Well, he would have never ran to the liquor store if y'all wouldn't have been fighting. But what happened between the time he got in the liquor store and the time he got shot? That matters. That's all I'm saying. Now, it could have been real quick. Like, oh, I'm in here. Get out. What? Hold on. But see, bam, bam, bam. Could have been. Could have been more. Could have been more. We don't know. So that's why I ask these questions because I want people to start just stop just automatically accepting that because this is what you heard, that this is what it is. We don't know. I don't like the idea of saying that somebody's guilty of murder who didn't murder somebody. I understand that happens in the law. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the, if not for this, then this. I don't like that. Not always. Charge me for what I did. They got plenty to charge her for what she actually did. Plenty. My mouse died. Jason says, why is she allowed off the hook on this? I don't think being charged with attempted murder, felonious assault, domestic violence, reckless operation of a vehicle, and really a few probably other things that they could come up with is off the hook. I don't think that's off the hook. Daryl says, now if she get convicted of murder, then her lawyer wasn't S, according to your argument of it not being a murder. Well, I'm not saying that. I mean, the law is the law. I'm just saying I don't like that aspect of the law. I don't like that aspect of the law. I don't like I think Jason had brought up um earlier that I just lost my train of thought because I was reading what Wyatt had wrote. I was trying to read what Wyatt wrote and I lost my train of thought. I'm sure I get it back. Um Wyatt says, for all we know, she might have admitted to everything prior to him running in the house, and that led to the charges. True, for all we know. But that wasn't a part of this conversation. This conversation, let me say this. I don't do these conversations to have the answer. That's not why I do these. These aren't to have the answer to this difficult legal case. That ain't why I do this. I do this to actually bring up the point that we don't know all of these details, and the details matter. But we see a story or we hear a situation and we automatically jump to a conclusion. We automatically jump to a conclusion. But we don't know. And most situations in life are complex. They're not just all black and white. They're really complex. And I want us sometimes to stop, especially with these difficult situations, to stop just going with what we've heard. I think I saw somebody say, try looking at it from multiple sides, from all the sides that you can imagine. That's what I want us to do. I can see y'all position. I think it's the oversimplified position because there's so much we don't know. Even if we accept everything in that story as 100% fact, there's so much we don't know. But I don't like the idea that my actions causing your reaction, and then whatever you suffer based on your reaction, I'm responsible for. I don't like that. I don't like it. Like I said, charge me for what I did. They got plenty. But I got to get out of here. I don't know what she's doing back there. I got to get out of here. It's 5 o'clock. Wyatt about to come on and call me a damn chaos agent for trying to look at all sides. For trying to look at all sides of the issue. So I'm going to let him do that. And make sure y'all check him out. Anthony says, drug dealers getting charged with people overdosing and dying. People who own bars getting charged for drunk drivers killing people. Stuff like that. I don't like that. If you come to my house and I got alcohol at my Super Bowl party, I can say that because I won't be having no Super Bowl party because I'm not watching the NFL. And you drink one too many, and then you go out there and you get into an accident, I could be charged. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I believe I can be charged with that murder that you committed driving drunk. That's my fault. Because you drank a little too much at my house. I don't like stuff like that. You're responsible for you. You're responsible for not drinking too much. But he wouldn't have been drunk had it not been for your Super Bowl party. Well, then let's carry that further. I wouldn't have had a Super Bowl party if the NFL didn't have a Super Bowl. So why don't we make the NFL responsible? See how ridiculous that is? Well, if the NFL didn't have a Super Bowl, I would have never had a Super Bowl party, and I wouldn't have been serving alcohol. That's what I hear when y'all say, well, she started it. Then the NFL says, well, we wouldn't have had the Super Bowl if the AFC and the NFC would have never merged. So it's the fault of the people who merged the AFC and the NFC, or the AFL and the NFL. You can just keep taking the nonsense further and further and further. It's all ridiculous to me. All right, y'all. I do have to get out of here. Sorry, Wyatt. I am not a chaos agent. I am the king of chaos. I got to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I hope something amazing happens in your life today. Until next time, it's been the Afternoon Experiment. Check out Wyatt Live coming up real soon. I'm Emmanuel Livingston. I'm out, y'all. Peace.